All right, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Taylor Kanost. We have plenty of updates to go through as we brace for potential for winter weather Friday into Friday night. Really about 24 hours from now, we will be in the thick of things, and we have new warnings and advisories to pass along this afternoon. Winter storm warnings in effect for Kershaw, Fairfield, Newberry, and Saluda counties. And then areas highlighted in purple, which is basically the rest of our area, except for eastern Orangeburg County. All of those will be in effect from 10 a.m. on Friday through 4 a.m. on Saturday. Now, that does not mean we will have slick roads immediately at 10 a.m. That's just the earliest possible time we could begin to see some wintry weather move in. We'll talk more about that here on this live stream here. So thanks for tuning in this afternoon. Again, I'm Chief Meteorologist Taylor Kanost, walking you through our winter weather potential for Friday into Friday night. Here's our storm, and it's already well underway in the southern plains this afternoon. Areas like Dallas, Oklahoma City, Little Rock, dealing with quite a bit of snow, and for Dallas, it's kind of a mixed bag of some ice and snow this afternoon. This is our storm that will be heading across the deep south tonight into Friday, moving our way beginning on Friday around midday. So let's walk through it hour by hour on Friday. For the morning drive, it's going to be dry. We're going to be just fine. It will be cloudy and cold with those morning temperatures in the 20s for most of us once again early in the day Friday. Once we get to the late morning, we could begin to see that wintry mix move in. What you see here might be a little overdone. We are going to be battling some dry air initially. So while the radar may show snow or a wintry mix moving in late tomorrow morning, what might actually be happening is it's snowing or sleeting above us, and then it's evaporating before it actually makes its way to the ground. I could see that scenario happening around this time on Friday morning, but eventually we will overtake the dry air and we will get a mix of some snow, some sleet, and some rain throughout Friday afternoon. Notice the temperatures for many of us during this time will be just a few degrees above freezing. It can still snow or sleet when the temperatures at the ground are above freezing. It's more about the air temperatures above us being below freezing, allowing that snow to make its way to the ground. So that scenario very well could happen at times Friday afternoon. So our best chance at seeing some snowflakes flying around near and north of I-20 is going to be during the afternoon hours. Will it stick? Probably not too much. We're again going to be having temperatures just above freezing, so we'll have to overcome that. It would have to be pretty heavy snow for it to actually accumulate, and that will be possible for communities like Newberry and Winnsboro. A little bit less likely the farther south you go. Once we get after sunset and it gets dark out Friday evening, we will transition to a threat of more freezing rain and sleet in the early evening, and then strictly a mix of freezing rain north and regular rain to the south. What type of precip you see on Friday evening will completely be determined by what your air temperature is at the ground level. So if you are at 32 or below that, you'll see freezing rain. If you're above 32, you will just get cold, but regular old rain. So the southern Midlands has the best chance at just having regular old rain on Friday night, but notice those temperatures in Columbia, Lexington, areas north of there, still hovering at or below freezing, potentially all the way through midnight on Friday night. The longer your temperature stays at or below freezing, the more ice you are going to get and the worse conditions are going to be. So that temperature is going to be really crucial for the possible impacts for us heading into Friday night. The showers will lighten up shortly after midnight, should be long gone by about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. Heading into the daytime Saturday, sunshine will return. Temperatures will warm to the 40s by lunchtime. So if you're looking ahead to when can you safely travel on the roads on Saturday, I really think by late morning or certainly the afternoon, you should be in good shape with any ice or snow melting away at that time. So it's not going to be a terribly long stretch that you're stuck inside, but certainly would suggest you stay inside on Friday night. Now, I've talked about sleet and freezing rain. I showed this yesterday and I'll show it again. Some people confuse those two. They're both variations of ice. So one easy way we can distinguish the two that people tends to click for people is by showing you donuts of all things. So the sprinkles on the donuts can be compared to sleet. Sleet is basically just ice pellets or sprinkles of ice. You're going to hear them bounce off your windshield, off the sidewalk. They're a little noisier. Freezing rain just looks like rain when it falls to the ground, but the ground temperature or the air just at the surface is going to be below freezing. So once it makes contact with the ground, it ices over and creates an icy glaze like you would find on a glazed donut. This freezing rain is the more dangerous of the two because freezing rain can create black ice. It's a little bit tougher to see, but can be more dangerous to travel on. And freezing rain is also what clings to trees and power lines and can cause those to be downed if we get enough of that freezing rain, which is certainly a possibility. So a couple tips if you do find yourself traveling in this weather. Again, not recommended that you drive late tomorrow through tomorrow night, but if you do have to, just a few tips for driving in black ice. Keep the steering wheel straight as best as you can. Don't slam the brake. That's going to cause your car to lose control. Instead, take your foot off the accelerator. Give yourself a lot of space between your car and the car in front of you. That's going to be your best bet to avoid any accidents tomorrow. Just again, play it as safe as you possibly can out there. As far as the freezing rain forecast goes, there is still a pretty wide range of possibilities. This column here shows the worst case scenario for freezing rain accumulation, and it shows a very wide stretch of the Midlands and upstate South Carolina picking up as much as a quarter inch of freezing rain. The best case scenario, and honestly the least likely scenario, is that most of South Carolina does not get any freezing rain. Our forecast pretty much jives with what you see here. Some parts of the Midlands could get as much as a quarter inch of freezing rain. That would be pretty significant, and that's going to be most likely where we have those winter storm warnings. So Kershaw, Fairfield, Newberry, and Saluda counties, that's where the greatest amount of freezing rain will be possible. We could get 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of freezing rain in Lexington and Columbia, though, so that will be potentially impactful as well. Farther south, there's a chance that you get a very light coating of ice, and even just that little bit can cause at least some slick roads. So don't take that for granted in Orangeburg and Manning. Even if your totals are lesser, you still could have at least some slick roadways out there Friday afternoon through Friday evening. On top of this freezing rain, we could have as much as a quarter inch of sleet. Now, sleet's not going to be as problematic for travel, but it can still cause slippery roads as well. So the combination of sleet, of this freezing rain that creates the icy glaze, again, just a lot of reasons to believe that travel is not going to be all that great across the Midlands late Friday through Friday night. As far as the impacts go with freezing rain, when you get a quarter inch, that's when you can have at least isolated power outages. Of course, the icy roads, basically everything outside is going to be coated in ice. The mailboxes, if you're parked outside, your windshield will get coated in that ice, and you have to like chip away at that ice with a scraper or something to basically see out your windshield. So again, that's what we can expect across much of the area in regards to the ice threat. Snow is a much lower threat, but we could see snow on Friday afternoon. Our forecast for that really has not changed. Less than an inch possible in Winsboro, Newberry, and Saluda. I'm thinking just a dusting at best for Lexington, Columbia, Camden, and Bishopville, and you're unlikely to see any snow stick to the ground farther south. You could see some snowflakes flying around in other communities like Orangeburg and Sumter briefly on Friday afternoon, but the odds of it actually accumulating looks pretty unlikely. And even in Columbia, that's true as well. Just a dusting at best as far as snow accumulation is concerned. Now, in Columbia, we have gone nearly 3 years without any accumulating snow at the airport. We have to go back to January 22nd of 2022. Again, nearly 3 years ago without any measurable snowfall. That's our 8th longest snow drought we have had on record in Columbia. So it has been quite a while since we've had wintry weather here in the Midlands, and that likely is going to change tomorrow through tomorrow night. Here's the timeline specifically for Columbia. Friday morning, mainly dry. We could begin to see that wintry mix move in late in the morning, mainly after 10 a.m. Things start to go downhill Friday afternoon with a mix of snow, sleet, and rain. That's going to be most likely after 2 p.m., but could occur earlier than that. Friday evening is likely when conditions will be at their worst. We're going to have that combination of sleet and freezing rain in Columbia that will likely create icy roadways. The ice, so to speak, the ice showers, the freezing rain showers likely start to lighten up and come to an end early in the morning on Saturday, but there could be lingering icy road impacts until late in the morning on Saturday. So that's what we're tracking. The bottom line is this is your travel outlook. Early in the day Friday, I think you're going to be okay. We start to see things go downhill Friday afternoon. Friday night is when the road conditions will likely be at their worst. We start to see slowly improvement Saturday morning, and we're likely in good shape for travel on Saturday afternoon. Again, the farther north you go in our area, the more likely you're going to come across some travel issues. Areas farther south in Orangeburg, you're probably going to be okay for travel first thing in the morning on Saturday. So it varies depending on where exactly you live. But those of you north of I-20 under the winter storm warning have the biggest chance at the biggest impacts from this winter weather coming our way tomorrow. Skywatch weather app is going to be your best friend tomorrow through tomorrow night. We have updated forecasts, videos, our forecast stories. Frequently updated there, the hour-by-hour forecasts, and you can track the radar on our Skywatch weather app as well. So download that at the App Store or the Google Play Store if you want to keep tabs on this wintry weather coming our way tomorrow. Along with that, we've had numerous school closings or early dismissals, some going to e-learning for Friday. If you want the latest information on that, you can visit wach.com right now. We'll also have the latest information on that, plus preparations for this winter storm coming up on Watch Fox News at 5. I'll have my latest forecast for you at that point as well. So thanks for watching this afternoon. We'll keep you updated in the hours leading up to the winter weather on Friday, and be sure to stay safe as winter weather comes our way in the matter of 24 hours from right now.